Welcome guys. Alright, in today's video I'll be telling you guys the 3 important parts in your sewing machine that you probably don't know about, and it contributes, let me say, 90% of your sewing machine having issues most of the times. So today I'm going to uncover those important parts to you, especially if you are a new tailor or fashion designer. So as you are starting on with your sewing machine, you need to know the phrases of your sewing machine, know the in and out. So these 3 important parts is what you take note. The points I'll be listing out in these videos concerning these 3 important parts, so that as you move forward with your fashion career, your sewing machine will be working perfectly and won't disturb you that much. Alright, without wasting much time in this video, let's just dive straight at it. Now, the number 1 most important part in your sewing machine is your needle. Yeah, your needle. Now you might say, how is the needle most important? The needle is very important because if you are using a bad needle on your sewing machine, it can affect your stitches badly. Now, for example, it can cause your sewing machine to be squeezing the fabric. The fabric wouldn't be that neat. 2, it can cause cutting of thread. Sometimes when your sewing machine is breaking the thread all the time, you should look after your needle first before you try any other mechanical effect. Now, another one is it can cause skipping of stitches. Is also contributed by a bad needle. Now, when you are sewing with your sewing machine and probably your needle now hit on something thick and the needle bends, now what you should do immediately is to replace that needle with a new one, because using a needle that has bent, that is no longer straight, can impact your stitches wrongly. Another one is when you are sewing a thick fabric, you need to increase the size of your needle. Using a wrong size of needle is bad, because when you are sewing something that is thick, that little size of needle cannot pierce that thick fabric well enough for the carrier to pick the thread underneath. So once you are sewing on a thick fabric and you notice your stitches is skipping a little bit, you should consider increasing the size of your needle to probably 19 to 20. Like if you are using 16 to 18 size of needle on a thick fabric, probably like women that sews breast pad, those breast pad that is thick, you should consider using a bigger size of needle, like 19 to 20. Then once you have changed that your needle to a bigger size and you still notice those defaults like skipping and cutting of thread, then you should know that probably is from a mechanical area. So consider changing your needle first on that. Again, improper fixing of your needle can affect your needle badly. Alright, like I treated on my video, the one I said how to fix the issue of cutting of thread. Now I emphasize the correct format of fixing your needle on your sewing machine. Now, a sewing machine needle, you see a thin line at one side and you see the other side is a bit flat. Now that side that has a thin line is the front, it's the one that should be fixed frontally. Now if you use that other side down that is a little bit flat, that can affect your stitches badly. So improper fixing of your needle is also a big point to note on. To understand me better, after finish watching this video, you can go to my other video on when I treated the reasons why your sewing machine is cutting thread. So you can go there and watch the points and more points there also. Alright, the second point I'll be listing out here is your plate. Now, the round plate of your sewing machine, that's the second most important part in your sewing machine. Now, using a bad plate in your sewing machine, like I've also mentioned in some of my videos before, can impact your stitches badly. Now, once you are sewing on that, sewing with your plate, that plate needs constant replacement, because usually most of the time that your needle sometimes occasionally hits on that plate, on the whole of that plate, and it gets damaged. It can cause the plate to be sharp. which can also impact your sewing machine to be cutting the thread occasionally. So once you discover your plate has gotten this bad, the whole of it has gotten that bad, so you should replace it. Always put your mind in the plate of your sewing machine, that area. Learn to replace your sewing machine parts when it's necessary. Finally, the third most important part in your sewing machine is your carrier. Now, this carrier, when used in time, it gets worn, as the carrier is constantly rotating in the engine of the sewing machine. It worns out in time. Now, when this worns out, you notice that there is a space between the carrier and the awl. Now, if you lose that place, now that cover, and touch the carrier, you notice that there's a space in between them. Now, this causes noise in your sewing machine. When there is too much space inside the engine of your sewing machine, between the carrier and the awl, it can cause your sewing machine to be making a lot of noise when you are using it. And again, as it has worn out, you see the back of it now, as it has worn out, it can cause the carrier to be sharp, which can impact your stitches badly, like the down side of your stitches. It can cause it to be loose. It will no longer be as tight as it should. Even if you tighten your tension more and more, you still notice that the down is not that neat. Again, it can cause cutting of thread in your needle, because it has worn out now, it has become a bit sharp. So once you notice your carrier getting worn out, the one I told you to, there will be a lot of space between the carrier and the awl. It will be shaking. So you should know that it's a perfect time to replace your carrier and get a new one. Alright, thank you very much for sticking with me to the end of this video. Now, if you have any question, you can ask me in this comment section below. You can as well share these videos to your friends, and also don't forget to like and subscribe.